All right, we're still in the 16 days of activism against violence on women and children. One of the organizations lending a hand is Lawyers Against Abuse. In January, it's launching a second center to help GBV survivors in Orange Farm here in Gauteng. For 6 years, the lawyers have operated a walk-in center in Diepsloot, providing free professional legal advice and therapy as well as counseling. I'm now joined by its legal and operations head, Lindsay Henson. Thank you very much, Ms. Henson, for your time. Tell me a little bit more about Lawyers Against Abuse.
Sure. Thanks so much for having me. So Lawyers Against Abuse, or LVA as we go by for short, is a nonprofit organization, and our key objective is to work to strengthen the justice system's response to gender-based violence. And as you've indicated, we do that using a three-pronged approach. So the first is providing holistic support services to victims of violence. So that's both integrated legal and psychosocial support, as well as then working closely with local state actors within the justice system and empowering communities through workshops and awareness-raising initiatives.
Now, Ms. Henson, obviously, when it comes to law, law has been blamed, or people within law have been blamed a lot for how victims are treated, for instance, in court, etc. You find people saying, you know, if you have money, you can get away with a lot, while people who are victims probably don't have money. How important is it for LVA to alleviate, for instance, poverty?
Sure. I mean, oftentimes then, especially in instances of domestic violence, then there may be a financial dependence on a perpetrator, which is adding to the challenges facing a victim of violence in terms of leaving that situation. But gender-based violence is one of the crimes that then cuts across, you know, race, socioeconomic status, religion, nationality. So it isn't necessarily just a crime associated with poverty.
And that's why your organization would then be very important to help those who, for instance, cannot afford, as people would say, the best lawyers.
Sure. I mean, and that's the thing. Access to justice is so critically important. And so it's important that victims of violence are first aware of their rights and they're aware of the available legal remedies in their particular situations. But also in the work that we do is by accompanying victims all the way through the justice system pipeline. We are ensuring that state actors actually uphold their obligations to victims as set out in the relevant legislation. So it's things like accompanying a client to the police station to make sure that her case is open, that she's not turned away, that she is treated with dignity and respect, that her statement is taken properly, all the way through following up with investigating officers, making sure that the investigations are done correctly, that arrests are made timeously, and then for those cases that are submitted for trial, then liaising with the prosecutor and the investigating officer, as well as providing that support. So by journeying with the client all the way through the process, then we're ensuring that these laws that are beautiful on paper are actually implemented and upheld for victims of violence in individual cases.
All right, so you have a walk-in center in Diepsloot. You're launching another one in 2021 in Orange Farm. Tell us more about what these centers do and how they operate, as well as what it is that Lawyers Against Abuse is doing to participate in the campaign of 16 days.
Sure. So our centers, as you've said, they're a walk-in center. So community members in the communities in which we work are available to they can come in and consult with one of our attorneys. Sometimes clients aren't seeking legal services necessarily, but they're also seeking therapy and counseling. So they can come and speak with one of our social workers, engage with one of our therapists. And it's really through those centers that, you know, that serves as a base for our work in the community. And similarly in Orange Farm, we'll be working then with other partner organizations providing therapy and counseling, but then we'll be providing those specialized legal services. And then engaging, as I've mentioned before, engaging very closely and directly with local state actors. In terms of our activities for 16 days, we've participated in a number of activities during the 16 days period in Diepsloot, just including we're part of a Diepsloot GBV stakeholders forum, and there was a widespread joint initiative by civil society in Diepsloot as well as state actors to hold a community dialogue, to engage with community members around these issues and potential solutions and what the community's role is in combating gender-based violence, as well as then having our own activations at malls and door-to-door campaigns in order to raise awareness about people's legal rights and remedies, as well as where they can go for support.
Well, thank you very much for your time. That is Lawyers Against Abuse's Lindsay Henson.